It's really challenging to keep remembering the arms because I know the back of the leg is really talking to you. So keep trying to press those arms into the floor. And then once you've done that 5 times, placing the leg back down, reset your feet if you need, and you're going to extend the other leg. Good. Let's lower the foot, lift up through those hips, good, so you're powering through that right leg. And pointing and flexing through 5 times. And remembering your inhale and exhale to get a little bit higher. Good. And placing that leg down, you're going to roll down through the spine, 1 vertebra at a time. Great. Can we have a little break? Is that all right? Okay, so we've got a TheraBand and we've basically just tied it into a knot. So you can see that it's not a big circle that you want. So we're going to just pop both feet through the band, and you're just going to place it on your thighs above your knees. With a TheraBand, you just want to kind of make it as wide as possible so that it doesn't cut into you. And if you don't have a TheraBand at home, it's perfectly fine to do this exercise without one. Okay, so once you've got that TheraBand in place, you're going to roll over onto your side. Your bottom arm's going to be extended along the floor, that's it, and your top hand is going to be on your hip. So the reason we have that hand there is we want to actually press that top hip away, which lifts up the underneath waistline a little bit, and that's going to help you keep the hips stacked. We're drawing the abdominals in and that shoulders back, head releasing down onto that hand. The legs are going to be bent in a 90-degree angle, just a little bit in front of you. Feet are going to be flexed. Yeah, feet are going to be flexed. And then from there, I just want you to lift that top leg. Good. And even a little higher. So we're getting that leg hip height basically in line with, with the hip and the rest of the body. So from there, you're going to press up into the band. So let's exhale the leg up and inhale it just back down to that tabletop position. And when I say tabletop position, you want to imagine that there's a table there and that leg is just resting on the table every time it comes down. We don't want it to touch the underneath leg. Good. And then as that leg is moving, we want to make sure that the knee is moving just as much as the foot is, so that entire leg line is picking up. Where you want to feel this exercise is through glute min and glute med. Good. And we're just going to do last 3, so pressing up into that band and lowering down. As Elle's leg is moving, we're making sure that the hips stay stacked. Good, and doing that last one, we're going to stay. Well done. From there, you're going to keep pressing up into that band. So we're doing little pulses. Good, so we're thinking up and up and up. As it starts to get really challenging, again, bringing your attention back to your breath. So you're inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth to get a little bit more power. And we're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, and you can have a little break. Great. So from there, keeping the body as is, that leg is going to float back up again. Good. From there, we're going to find your external rotation. So we want to bring the heels together and that knee is going to open up as much as possible. Now we're trying to make the biggest diamond available that we can. And from there, that leg comes back to parallel, just to here. Good. Foot flexed. And we go, opening that leg, good. And coming back again. So this is really challenging with the band. If it's not feeling too good with the band, you can take it off. And for those of you that don't have a band, consider yourself really lucky. Good. And back to parallel, well done. And you're going to just keep that going. So ideally, we'd love that knee to actually move up towards the ceiling, good, every time that we find that external rotation. And we're just going to go for 3, and back to parallel, and 2. Good, and last one. That's really hard. It's really challenging, good, and just have a little break there. Well done. So that was your external rotation. From there, we're going to find your internal rotation. So giving your top hip a little bit of a smack if you need to get some feeling back. And from there, you're going to again lift that leg up. Now we're starting in parallel. We're going to roll the knees together. Now it's really challenging to not let that top hip roll forwards. So we want to keep that hip back. Good, and then from there we come back to parallel. So you're fighting against that band to lift your knee. Well done. Again, we go knees together and parallel. Beautiful. Good. And that hand can act as feedback to make sure that you're keeping that hip stable. Now, as the leg moves, it's really challenging to start curling the pelvis underneath you. What I want you to think as you're doing this is that you're actually sticking your bottom back behind you. So it sort of helps to maintain that neutral alignment of the pelvis. Good, and we're just going to go last two. Good, and last one. Now, if you have the band, we'll have a little break. You're going to continue with the band. I can see here that this is really challenging. So let's just take that one off and we're going to continue with the rest of the exercise. So again, we float that top leg up. Good. And we're going to alternate between the two positions. So the heels come together. We're opening that knee up as much as we can. It rolls through parallel and then we bring the knees together. Good. And you're going to go through parallel into turn out and parallel knees together. Good. And as you do this, the slower that you do it and the more control that you need is where it's going to be the most challenging. So it's tempting to rush through this, but I always think try to keep focusing on that breath so you're moving that leg with the breath. Good. And we're just going to do last two. So opening that knee up, really finding that extra squeeze and bringing the knees together. Last one. Heels together, knee opens, find that diamond through the legs and through parallel, knees together. And we're going to hold that leg up for the last part. So we've found that parallel position, foot is flexed, and we're just going to hold for 2 breaths. So breathing in and exhaling out, we lift a little higher. Last breath, we breathe in and you exhale out. Good, and you can release that leg down. Well done. So if you haven't taken your ThyroBand off, you can take it off quickly now. You're going to extend the underneath leg long, and that top leg is just going to be bent and resting down on the floor. If that's not comfortable for you, you can get a pillow and just prop that knee up a little bit. Elle's going to point that long leg. Good. And then from there, you're going to press that foot up. Oh, sorry, that whole leg up. Good. And we stay up. Great. And then let's lift that leg a couple of inches higher. Beautiful. So that inside thigh is reaching up towards the ceiling. From there, we're going to lower only a couple of centimeters, and then you're going to exhale and pick that whole leg line up again. Good. And again, we lower and you lift. If you find that your hand's not feeling too comfortable in that position, you can also bring it down onto the floor to help find some support. Good. And exhale. So as that leg is moving, really engaging the adductors to bring that leg to the midline of the body. Good. And we're just going to do last 2. You exhale it up and inhale. We lower just a little bit and last one. Good. And we lower. From there, let's pick that leg up. You're going to draw a circle with your toe. So you're going to go around and up for 1, and 2, and 3, making it sharp, and 4. We go for 5, and 6, releasing the shoulders. Last 2, and last 1. Reverse the circle other way. We go around and up for 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Last 4, and 3, 2, and last 1. We're going to stay up, little pulses up. We go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Lift it as high as you can. We hold and releasing it back down again. Good job. Okay, let's bring that band. If you would like to take your band to do the other side, if you used it the other side, use it for the next side. Because Elle's been very busy today, we might just leave it for this one. Sounds okay? All right, so setting yourself up on the other side. Your underneath arm is long, head is resting on your arm, making sure that top shoulder is rolled back, drawing the abdominals in, and bringing that top hand on your top hip. That's it. So pressing that hip away, picking up the waist, so we're engaging through the obliques and through the abdominals still. Flexing your feet, and legs are at a 90-degree angle, just slightly in front of you. Good, I'd probably bring the feet back just a tiny bit, yeah. So from there, you're going to lift that leg up. If you've got your ThyroBand around your thighs, you're pressing up into your ThyroBand. Good. And you want to first of all find that position where you're parallel to the floor. From there, you're going to exhale the leg up, and we inhale and only lower to that tabletop position that we had earlier. Good, and again, you're going to pick it up and lower down. So as that leg is moving, try to keep it as parallel as possible. So it's almost like you're trying to make the sacrum wider as the leg moves, rather than finding external rotation, because we're going to do that in a little bit. Good, and let's do your last two. So exhaling the leg up and lowering just a little, and last one. Good, and you lower. From there, we're going to pick that leg up and we do little pulses, so lifting it up. Good. And as that leg is moving, trying to keep the rest of the body quiet. So just isolating that leg in the hip socket. And we go for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bringing that leg back down. Good. From there, going into your external rotation. So we're going to float the top leg up again. From there, we're bringing the heels together. We're opening that knee up to the ceiling and trying to find that diamond through the legs. And from there, the feet come apart and the leg comes back to that parallel position. And again, we bring the heels together, knee lifts, and back to parallel. Every time that knee lifts, try to find some extra squeeze through the glute there, so that you can open that leg up as much as possible. Good. And the second side is always a little bit more challenging because it's fatigued during the first side. Good. And we're just going to do last two. So as you're getting tired, again, just remembering to release the shoulders, releasing the head. Good. And we're going to have a little break from there. Okay. So going into your internal rotation, you're nearly there. Let's float that top leg up. You're going to bring the knees together, lifting that foot up as high up as you can without dragging that top hip forwards, and coming back to parallel. Good, and we go again, knees together, and we lift that leg. Good. So here I want you to keep pressing that hand into the hip so that we keep remembering to lift the underneath waist. We don't really want to collapse and chill out here. We definitely want to still stay engaged through the abdominals. Good, keeping that foot flexed. We're going to do last 4, and we lift, and 3, and your last 2, and finishing with your last one. Good, and then having a little break, because the next one we're going to go into the alternating between your internal and external rotation. So let's exhale to pick that leg up. Good, and we're going to start with, we'll go heels together, knees wide, rolling through parallel, and then bringing the knees together. Good. So because we're alternating between those two positions, here, bring your attention to your hip and making sure you're keeping it as stable as possible. Good. And you're on the home stretch for this one. It's a small movement, but it's a really challenging movement to do if you're doing it properly. Good, and we're just going to go 2 more. So let's find your external rotation. Good, and rolling through parallel. And last one. Good, and then we're going to come back to that parallel position. That leg's floating, great. Let's just bring it back in line with the other one. And we're just going to hold it. So taking a deep inhale through the nose, exhaling, letting the shoulders go, still pressing that leg up, and one more breath like that. Good, and then just releasing that leg down. Well done. From there, you can extend your underneath leg long, pointing the foot, other knee's going to be resting down. Good, and I think we might just bring the hands straight down onto the floor for this one. So you want to feel quite comfortable here. From there, you're going to float that long leg up, and you want to think of reaching those inside thighs up to the ceiling. So your adductors are working really hard there. Good. And then let's just lift another inch and another inch. Well done. From there, we're going to lower the leg on an inhale and we exhale it up.